Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muashami bin Ahmad Shah, matric number 1172677. First of all, thank you to Dr. Hendon binti Abdul Rahman Shah for spending your time to hearing my presentation today. My supervisor is Ustaz Zahari bin Mahab Musa, and my topic for final year project is the position of wasi in Islamic inheritance and related fatwas in Malaysia. Okay, first I will start with the research objective. This research focuses on several objectives, which is to understand the concept of wasi as a trustee in Islamic inheritance. Second, to study the position of wasi in Islamic inheritance in Islamic law. And the last one, to know application of related fatwas about wasi in Islamic inheritance in Malaysia. Next, I move to the research methodology. This research was conducted using a qualitative approach. It is divided into two, which is secondary research and research technique. Secondary research is a research method that involves the use of existing data that has been summarized and compiled to increase the overall effectiveness of the research. Besides a whole picture of the position of wasi through this complex qualitative research technique. Then move to the importance part, which is discussion and finding. In this section, I will discuss about concept of wasi in Islamic inheritance and the related fatwas in Malaysia. Okay, first definition of the concept of wasi in Islamic inheritance. Wasi is a person appointed by a wali or judge to take care and manage the property of a person who has less capacity to manage property. A person formed from a wisayah contract or al-isab. Then dalil of wasi in Al-Quran. Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala mention in Al-Quran, A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu la tattakhizu bitanatan min dunikum la ya'lunakum khabalan waddu ma anittum qad badatil baghta'u min afwahihim wa ma tukhfi suduruhum akbar. Sadaqallahul Azim. Surah Ali Imran, verse 118. In this verse, we understand that the appointed wasi must be among Muslim, because in the concept of Islamic law in general, non-Muslim have no power over Muslims. Next, the law becomes an executor. According to Jumhur Fuqaha, it is permitted for a person who is given the role as an executor to accept the offer if he has the ability to perform the responsibility. This is what the companion do when asked by other companion to be executors to them after death. However, in a situation that makes the wisayah itself obligatory and no one else is qualified to be an executor, then at that time it is very appropriate for him to be willing to accept the offer. Although there are also scholars who argue that it is more important for a person to reject the role of executor. This is because the executor has a very big role and responsibility, and it is worried that the responsibility will not be implemented well. So now let's take a look to the pillars of wisayah in Islamic inheritance. Wisayah is a akad or contract. Accordingly, wisayah must be done based on the pillars and conditions set by Islamic law. In general, the pillars of wisayah are as follows. First, the person who makes wisayah, which is musi. Second, executor of the will, which is wasi. Third, the subject of wisayah, which is musafihi, for statement of wisayah, which is sirah, ijab and kubul. Next, we move to the part of the condition for a person to be appointed as wasi or an executor. A person appointed as an executor must fulfill the following condition. First, Islam. Second, an independent person. Third, mukallaf. Fourth, a just person. Fifth, honest or trustworthy. Sixth, ability to manage the property entrusted. Then I move to the power of wasi in custody of inheritance. Among the most important when discussing the position of the contract or transaction performed by wasi are power of wasi to do tabarruk. Jumhur Fuqaha agree that an appointed wasi or executor has no authority to perform any tabarruk contract, whether it is a hibah, charity or a will. This is because doing tabarruk for the child's property by itself denies the goal of the wisayah itself, which is to take care of the property and develop it. Second, power of wasi to do sale and purchase. The juries in determining the position on the power of wasi to buy and sell children's property discuss it based on the types of property regulated by the executor. For immovable property, wasi is not allowed to sell it all unless there is a need to sell the property, such as to support the children and pay off the debt of the deceased. As for movable property, wasi is allowed to sell or buy it from or to another person based on the current value of the property. And the last one, power of wasi to do trade children's property. Majority of jurists from the Hanafi, Shafi'i, Hanbali schools and one opinion from the Maliki school argue that it is necessary for the executor or wasi to trade the property of the child for the benefit of the child. Thus, the executor or wasi is not allowed to make the child's property as a capital for him to do business or to take advantage of his own interest. In fact, the jurist of Hanbali stated that the executor or wasi involved in trading in children's property is not entitled to receive wages from his activity or profit derived from the business belong to the child because the profit itself comes from his property. Okay, then in my discussion and finding, this is second topic, which is the related fatwa of wasi in Islamic inheritance. First, fatwa about the EPF saving, SOSO and similar for deceased Muslim member. Muzakarah has decided that EPF money and money saved are inheritance that must be divided according to Faraid law. The EPF nominee is the executor or property administrator. The nominee must be divide the EPF money, which is the legacy of the deceased, according to Faraid law. The Legal Division Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, which is JAKIM, should advise the EPF to review the existing rule and laws in relation to the nomination to be in line with Islamic law. For example, the EPF responsible for managing contributor savings starting at the savings stage up to the production stage. For the withdrawal of contributor savings that have been died made through the scheme of production due to death, through the system nomination that have been implemented. Through the naming system, the nominee can make a claim against the saving of the deceased contributor. The word and the EPF management will manage the payment quickly and simple. Next, I move to the fatwa about nominee is a trustee of saving. The Fatwa Council of Maidam issued the following fatwa that the saving in tabung haji, that the saving in the EPF and so on, that have a nominee when the depositor dies, then the saving are inherited and must be divided according to the law of Faraid. The fatwa issued by the Maidam Fatwa Committee clearly emphasized that the nominee is a wasi who will execute the will of the deceased to distribute the property to those who are entitled according to Faraid. The nominee is only acting as an executor to the saving only. If the nominee is the heir of the member, he is entitled to his share according to Faraid law. Okay, the position of the person named by the dead as the nominee is the last fatwa in my discussion of the fatwa related to wasi in Malaysia. Decision: a Muslim named as the nominee by deceased in any saving scheme, in any saving fund, insurance fund, board, cooperative company, cooperative or financial institution is the executor of the deceased and shall distribute the deceased estate to the heirs entitled according to the division of Faraid. Owners of saving funds, insurance funds, board, cooperative companies, financial institution, and especially cooperative are considered as testators, but the nominee should not be considered a testator. Some financial agencies like this practice the naming system to facilitate the withdrawal of money in the event of death. So, what can I conclude for my research study? Actually, in Malaysia, the principles and terms of this wisayah are less known and not very popular among the Muslim community. Compared to will and faraid, nowadays, wisayah are conducted commercially by trust company, including law firms. Besides, wills and wisayah are among the things demanded by Islam in matters of property affair, especially as a property planning instrument. Okay, the last one is the responsibility and the obligation of wasi depend on the extent of power given to him at the time of appointment. That's all from me. Thank you.